Jai fans, I'm Michelle Joy Phelps.
And I'm Joe Leigh for Title Sports Network. 5v5, as you can see behind me, between Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren. Michelle, it still feels to me so surreal, honestly.
I know. I'm not going to lie. I never thought that we would ever see anything quite like what we're seeing here in Riyadh. This style of tournament, Queensberry, Matchroom, them putting their best fighters on the line because they obviously want to win the tournament. And there's a lot of money on the line as well. $3 million we're hearing as a bonus to the winning team.
Yeah, I think the main event is the closest fight, but you've got so many 50-50s, and you say that with confidence for either side. I could pick Nick Ball, I could pick Amo Williams, I could pick Hamza Shearers, I could pick Ray Ford, I could pick Deontay, I could pick Zhilei Zhang. Any fight, any team, honestly, it's that close. Like Fury Usyk a couple of weeks back here in Riyadh, right? This is where everything's going down.
Exactly. But somebody who has fought the two guys on the main event is Joseph Parker. We just had an opportunity to speak to him. Let's go ahead and see what he had to say. Joe, it's good to see you here again in Riyadh.
2 weeks ago we were here.
Yes.
Back again.
Yeah, back again.
I'm a fight fan.
Yeah.
Hey, fight fans.
We have the 5 versus 5 card. Is there a fight that you are most excited about this weekend?
Do you know what? All the fights, I feel like are very great matchups, and it's going to be an exciting night of fights, but I'm mostly interested in the main event.
Yeah.
Wilder versus Zhang.
Yeah.
Like, that fight gets me all buzzed up.
Right. Who do you favorite in that fight?
You know, I think Zhang put on a better performance with myself and dropped me twice. Didn't have the conditioning to carry it on. But for this fight, for some reason, I feel like Wilder is coming out. He's going to come out different this time.
That's interesting because you obviously felt the energy around the fight week you had with him. What makes you think he's back?
I think his energy is different. He's got a different approach this fight week compared to when he approached my fight, and he wasn't busy like I was. You know, so now he's had 12 rounds under his belt in December. I feel like that was good momentum for him going into this fight.
What fight on the entire card do you feel like the person is more likely to go down?
Which card or which fight?
Which fight?
The heavyweights. Wilder.
Any of them? Wilder?
Yeah,
you think he's going to
Zhang.
go down?
No, I think if Wilder lines up Zhang and catches him, Zhang will be out.
What about that other heavyweight fight? It's a close fight on paper, but they've sparred before, right?
I reckon 50-50 fight. Dubois, and I feel like Dubois has been tested more than Hrgović. We haven't really seen what Hrgović can do. I think this is going to be a good place for him to show exactly what he can do in the ring.
We've heard a lot about the sparring in the build-up. Is that going to play a part realistically? You've obviously sparred people, then fought them in the past. Does it play a part?
I think sparring stories are sparring stories. That was 6 years ago. Dubois showed a lot of heart in his last fight with Miller. He showed that he got that dog in him when things weren't really going to plan, you know, and he was able to pull it out and push through.
Okay, so of all of the fights combined, who is more likely to win? Is it Queensberry or Matchroom?
You know what? I would have to side. I would have to side with Matchroom.
Okay.
But listen, I love Queensberry and Matchroom. I love both. I always sit on the fence, but for this one, I might just go with Matchroom.
But it makes it fun, doesn't it? Sort of having this mix-up in boxing, having this sort of team-tier system
I think this
on.
is the best thing for boxing. Like bringing rivals together to work together, but challenge each other. And the winner's going to get some, I don't know, cash deal or whatever it is, a bonus.
$3 million.
Damn.
And Eddie brought up in, I think it was Michelle's interview yesterday as well, this could be Top Rank versus Golden Boy versus Matchroom. It could go so far.
Listen, they're doing big things for boxing, and I'm so happy to be a part of it all. Not just fighting, but also to be a fan and come here and watch, spectate.
Yeah. So what's going on with you now? Like, when can we anticipate some news there?
I got no fight date or no opponent yet, but I'm just training in New Zealand and just being patient. At the moment, I'm training with George Lockhart, and once we lock in a fight, I'll move over.
You're looking nice and slow there, Joe.
Yeah. Listen, George is the best in the world at what he does, nutrition and strength and conditioning. Once we lock in a fight, I'll move over to Ireland and join Andy. But for now, I'm just enjoying life, enjoying the opportunities to travel and come watch some amazing fights.
Well, when we were talking to Eddie Hearn the other day, I did ask Eddie, I said, look, on the night, if Hrgović or Dubois has maybe some sort of injury, can't make the September fight, you know, who's a plan B? He listed your name as a possible plan B for Anthony Joshua.
Matchroom, that's why I said Matchroom. Thank you, Ed.
Give you that rematch.
Thank you, Eddie.
How do you see the rematch going differently between you and Joshua?
I feel that in 2018 we were totally different fighters, and now it will be a different fight. I have a lot more confidence in myself and applying pressure, and he always comes looking for a knockout. So we'll meet in the middle of the ring.
And I know you feel like it's going to be a different fight because I've been watching your videos on Instagram.
Oh yeah, the call-out videos.
Funny. They're so funny.
Shout out to Kerry Russell.
He's a legend.
He's the man.
Do you think of them or does he?
He thinks of everything. He films it, directs it, does everything.
You execute it.
I execute.
Execute. All right, Joe. Well, thank you so much for joining us today on the pre-fight show. Any final words? Anything else you'd like to say?
I am excited for tomorrow night. Can't wait to watch the fights. And thanks everyone for the support. I can't wait to lock in my next fight as well.
Great,
thank you.
Fight fans.
Very interesting to hear from Joe there. Obviously, he's been in with these guys before, and he seems ready. He's back, and big time boxing here in Saudi. This man wants some big fights.
Yeah, but also Joseph said that he believes that Deontay Wilder is back.
Yeah.
He's confident that that killer instinct is back. He said that he's seeing something differently in this, leading up to this fight with Deontay than he did when he fought him.
It's good to know Joe's back and he can look at these fights again in the heavyweight division as some people he could be fighting in the future, right? And someone else who we caught up with, Jai Opetaia, also has his eye on someone on this card.
Jay, it's good to have you here in Saudi Arabia. You were just here a few weeks ago, but before we get on to, you know, getting the reaction from your fight, let's talk a bit about this weekend, 5 versus 5. Is there anybody that you're leaning towards? Queensberry, Matchroom?
Oh man, I'm team Matchroom, you know, so, you know, I'm pumped for this fight. This is awesome. I like the way that there's like the teams and the point system, so it's exciting.
But is there anybody in particular, is there one fight in particular that you're looking forward to the most?
You know, I'm a big Bivol fan, you know, I like his style. I'll definitely be watching that fight, and the Wilder Yang fight's going to be good. I feel like that's going to be fireworks. So.
Do you feel like Wilder is back? Is this his time? He's come back?
I don't know, but I'm honestly not sure. But it's just an exciting fight, you know. If he is back, he's just such a dangerous man, and Yang holds so much power as well. So.
Which one is the most 50-50 in your opinion out of those 5?
Man, the Yang Wilder, you know, I feel like it's just, they both just hold so much upsetting power, so I'm excited to watch that one, yeah.
Is there anyone in particular you think is going to go down? Who's the first man down?
I don't know. I'm excited to watch. There's some good fights on. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we're a couple of weeks out from your victory, your rematch against Meris Briedis over here in Saudi Arabia. How did you feel the last 2 weeks since that fight?
Yeah, good, man. You know, it was a massive learning curve, that fight. I feel like, you know, my performance, I feel like it wasn't my best performance, to be honest, but we still got the win, so that's all that matters. But there's a lot to take away from fights like that, you know, a hard 12 rounds. I feel like it's going to be a very important sort of stepping stone in my career and learning from fights like that. So, you know, I'm grateful to share the ring with such a great champion as well. You know, Meris Briedis is a fighter I've looked up to for a long time coming through the rankings. So, you know, it's all positive.
You just mentioned Bivol. There's talk about maybe you and Bivol fighting at some point. What do you make of that?
Man, if it happens, it happens. You know, I'm happy to take that fight for sure. You know, he's a great, respectable fighter, and I feel like both our styles, we'd have a fight to remember, and they're the type of fights that I'd like to be a part of.
Because we just interviewed him the other day, and you're on his radar as well.
Yeah, good. Hey. So if he wants to come up to cruiserweight, you know, cruiserweight's my division, so that's good.
Where do you have him in the pound-for-pound rankings, Joe?
Where do I hold Bivol in the pound-for-pound? Well, the pound-for-pound ranking is all over the joint, you know. Who cares, you know? But, man, I would love to fight Bivol, so.
Top 5?
Tough fight, yeah, definitely, you know, a chess match. That's a good hard fight, you know. They're the fights you want, you know, for people to keep watching the fight back and learning from it. So, you know, they're the fights that I used to watch all the time. So.
We saw Lawrence Okoli, obviously a former champion in your division, go up to Bridgerweight recently and become a champion there. Is that something you'd be interested to do in the future?
Definitely, man. Now that we got this new Bridgerweight and then go up to heavyweight, a 3-division world champion sounds good to me, bro. So it's exciting.
When could we see you out next?
There's been talk about September, so that might be in London in September. Nothing locked in yet. There's just been dates thrown around, but you know, as soon as they give me a date, I'll be ready. I'm pumped to get back in there. They
say that the winner of the Hrgovic-Daniel Dubois fight is likely to get Anthony Joshua next. Who do you hope that you see face Anthony Joshua?
No, honestly, I don't even care. You know what I mean? I'm worried about my own fights. So as soon as they just give me a date, I want to lock in and get ready back to business. So.
Well, He wants Bivol. Interesting to see that Jai wants to see Dmitry Bivol step up to cruiserweight. What do you make of that fight?
Listen, we're boxing fans, we're purists, we love these kinds of fights. For Bivol, he's got so many fights at light heavyweight. Personally, I love to hear Jai talk like that, but he even teed up a fight with Canelo at middleweight. I don't want to see Bivol get that big. We just spoke to Jai, obviously, and he's a big guy himself, so I'm not sure about that fight, but as boxing fans, I'd never say no, and I know Turkey potentially wants that too.
Another fight to look forward to, and obviously there's so many questions surrounding the IBF situation. We went ahead and caught up with Ben Davison, the trainer to Anthony Joshua, who is here keeping a close eye on a potential opponent for Joshua. Let's see what he had to say. Ben, it's good to see you here in Riyadh. I feel like this is becoming the new home of boxing, isn't it?
I know, we must stop bumping into each other here.
Well, obviously we have the 5 versus 5 weigh-in just behind us. I'm just curious what your thoughts are on this sort of concept that we have going. It sort of brings a new flavor, a new layer to boxing with this type of tournament.
I like it, I really like it. I think that it's a great turnout for what we've got here, and especially with it being over in Saudi Arabia. And there's some really intriguing matchups as well, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Which one have you got? There's a lot of 50-50s in there. Have you got a pick for let's go with the Hamza Shiraz, Ammo Williams. That's the people's main event, right?
Yeah, I think if I've got Hamza as a favourite in that one. I think if he goes about the fight the right way, I think if he goes about it in a certain manner, he'll have a harder time. But I think, he's got a good team there, and I think he'll go about the fight the right way, and expect Hamza to come through on that one.
And then the Big Bang versus Wilder, right? That's another close fight. People are saying maybe Wilder's back this time, or has he said that before? Is he really back? What do you think?
I think both guys are more than capable of winning that fight, aren't they? So it's about who goes about the fight the smartest. One mistake and that one can be over.
But I'm sure all eyes at this point are on Hrgović versus Dubois, potential future opponents for Anthony Joshua. How do you see that fight going?
I've always been a big fan of Hrgović, to be honest. I think a lot of people have feel like they've been underwhelmed by him. But I think that's because he's lowered his standards to what's been in front of him, because he's been in this position for a long time at the IBF mandatory. I think Hrgović is a really, really good fighter, but also with Daniel. He's so young, and some of the tests that he had really early on. I mean, when he boxed Joe Joyce, he boxed an Olympic gold medalist when he was, 21, 22 years of age. That's really fast progression. He would have learned a lot from that. And come on. So again, it's another great fight. They're all great fights, and that's why I was just saying, I think every single one of them is a great fight on this card.
All right, so in your opinion, who wins? Is it going to be Queensberry, or is it going to be Matchroom?
Do you know what it is? I've seen something about the whole point system. I don't really know how the point system works. The fight for me, which I really struggle to pick out, is the Willie Hutchison and Craig Richards fight. Yeah. So I think that could be the decider.
With the AJ and either Dubois or Hrgović situation, it's in limbo whether it would be for the IBF title. But if it is for you, how much would that mean for a trainer to be able to say, I've had 2 heavyweight world champions now?
Yeah, it's not about the coaches, it's about the fighters, But look, we'll see. I don't make the decisions there. Let's see.
Any final words?
Just enjoy it. Great card, let's enjoy it.
Ben Davison here in Saudi Arabia. Everyone's getting invited by Turkey Al Sheikh, and there's a nice vibe just after the weigh-ins here. But for Ben, he's going to have his eye in that main event for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And even he seems a bit split as to who he believes is going to win. I think it's a true 50-50 sort of matchup. In my opinion, I believe it's going to come down to who really wants it the most at the end of the day, because it is do or die. Because whoever wins this fight knows that they got Anthony Joshua, who knows that they have a shot at the world title. So there's a lot on the line for these guys.
And I keep mentioning it, but now Turkey's involved. Even the main event, it could be Wilder. Who knows? Wilder at Wembley, you just don't know.
Could be Joseph Parker again. He seemed pretty happy when he heard that his name was being dropped in there for a potential rematch with Anthony Joshua. But again, so much going on, so much surrounding the 5v5 card. What do you think? What do you think is going to be the outcome?
Okay, I'm going to go the people's main event. I think Ammo Williams, Hamza Shiraz is the one that everyone's kind of got their eye on. There's real bad blood there. and they're both at a very similar stage. With the Craig Richards and Willie Hutchinson fight, you can see they're at very different stages, so there's arguments for either side, but with that one there, Ammo and Hamza, I really don't have a clue, honestly.
Do you know what? I'm most excited, obviously, for the main event, which is the Big Bang versus the Bronze Bomber. Only for the simple fact that I love the drama. I love that at any stage, either one of them could get knocked out.
Yeah, and there's going to be a knocker. Let's not
forget that the 4 points are on the line for Deontay Wilder if he does knock down or knock out Zhilei Zhang.
All down to that fight then, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to our pre-fight show. And we're really excited. You don't want to miss the action going down tomorrow night. Joe?
Yeah, exciting stuff. Looking forward to it. Tune in.